and welcome to the Blame Game, the show that's got more laughs than Hillary Clinton has missing emails. I'm Tim McGarry, and our regular panellists are, of course, Colin Murphy, Jake O'Kane and Neil Delamere. And our special guest tonight is a stand-up comedian from Cork, now living in England. You've seen him on Russell Hard's Good News. He's a regular at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Before taking up comedy, he was a banker, so he's used to any heckle or abuse you can throw at him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the fabulous Mr. Andrew Ryan. Now, on with the show. The audience asked the questions and our panel provides some very unreliable answers. So what is our first question tonight? Who do you blame for TransLink and the Department of Regional Development working in conjunction with the Strategic Investment Board identifying the potential to create a leading integrated public transport hub that will be a high-class infrastructure gateway for Belfast, but which may adversely impact on the surrounding urban environment? Yes, it's the first Blame Game question to be written by a committee. I could have just stopped at who do you blame for TransLink? Yes, TransLink have opened a consultation on a proposed new transport hub for Belfast to be built in Sandy Row. Now, why does Belfast need an enormous new transport hub? I'll tell you. Basically, it's a pathetic attempt to justify creating all those empty bus lanes. Yes, TransLink, you caught me out. Well done, you. Like tens of thousands of others, you caught me driving in a bus lane in contravention of Regulation 34F. And you fined me 90 quid, even though there were no signs and the only way to actually get to Adelaide Street was via the bus lane. But never mind, you win, TransLink. Congratulations. I'll pay your crappy fine, but remember this, TransLink, this is exactly how Nazi Germany started. Yes, you get your 30 pieces of silver off me, but TransLink, you are why people voted for Brexit and why Donald Trump is going to win. Because faceless bureaucrats like you with CCTV cameras spend all day persecuting innocent, hard-working citizens to enforce bus lanes that don't have any fucking buses in them!
Oh, you took that well, big man. You took it well.
But who can we blame for TransLink?
Yes, there is a new bus station, or transportation hub, they're calling it. It's a bus-train station, and they're going to build it in Sandy Row. It's going to have loads of good features. It's going to have 8 rail platforms. It's going to have 8 trains. I know, it's not impressive. 8? Wow. There's only 4 routes. And one of them's Larne. Seriously, they haven't foot there, and they're going to build it. The TransLink are obviously behind this whole thing, and they're going to knock down this bridge called the Boyne Bridge, which is at the end of Sandy Row, which runs over the old railway track, or the current railway track. I'm going to knock it down, and local people are going to be a bit crazy about it, and there's a local historian who I heard on the radio, who sounds like all local historians do here. He's one of these people I talked about here, and he was on giving off, and he knock it down that bridge, because that bridge is a very historic bridge, and it's like, bits of that bridge get back to 1642, apparently. And apparently that bridge is 1642, that makes it the 3rd oldest bridge in the country, and yeah, so a bit of that bridge dates back to 1642, and so they're going to knock it down, because it's part of the heritage, of the place where it is, because King Billy went across that, and because King Billy went everywhere, apparently here, he landed in Carrickfergus, he stayed in Whitehead, then he went down the coast a little bit, stayed somewhere else, and up north Belfast, and then he came across, then he crossed Sandy Row, and then he stayed up Malone Road, there was a house up there, he stayed in. Did King Billy have either really bad sat-nav or emphysema? Because he seemed to be able to go 15 yards without going, I need to stop. So TransLink, yes, want to do this because they want to improve the infrastructure. They want to make it, you know, go-getting, exciting, getting buses. It's exciting getting a bus if you're travelling from Lurgan today because they're on fire. That's how you zhuzh it up. That's how you do it, right? The report said there was a bus coming from Dungannon going to Belfast. It was the express bus. It was the rush hour, 7:45. This happened, 7:45 rush hour, and the bus went on fire, engine went on fire, and it pulled over. And it said in the report that all the passengers got off safely. All 7 of them got off safely. 7 passengers in rush hour. This is how good TransLink is. The people are going, I'm going to get the bus then. What, down the motorway? You can overtake the bus. Oh, aye. And it's so.
Sorry, bus on fire, 7 passengers.
Yes.
This is Northern Ireland. Did they get out and, you know, open a few cans of beer and sing songs around it? Oh, bus on fire.
But by the time the claim goes in for compensation, it'll be 50.
Yeah. the guys that.
You know why it went on fire? Why? But the TransLink are introducing Wi-Fi on all their buses. Somebody was getting Wi-Fi on a Samsung Galaxy.
Well, the guys that alerted the driver, the most, I didn't hear the report, I've never heard it on the radio, but reading it, it was the most culchy report of an accident or an incident I've ever had in my life. At one point, the guy says, I was driving up behind her, and I says to, his name was Mark, I says to Mark, there's smoke pelting out of the back of the bus, and they have actually written it down, pelting out of the back, pelting out the back of her, was the actual phrase, pelting out the back of her, okay, right. And so they'll flash the, so we'll flash the driver, so that's what they'll flash the driver. Fleet him.
Well, they were behind him.
They were.
Yeah, they were behind the bus.
Yeah.
So to flash the driver, that is an entirely different thing altogether. You're then going the wrong way. No, I don't mean that. How exactly does that translate to the bus is on fire?
Get the driver's attention. Unless the bus is on fire.
Unless you have a rash. If you have a rash, you just go, it's on fire, it's going the bus. But in Northern Irish fans, because then they go, the bus is on fire, your bus driver's terrified, the bus is on fire.
Do the trains over here still have, like, really, condescending announcements to the passengers? Like, I was on a train in London, going up to Manchester, and the train manager came on and goes, "Hello, this is Dave, your train manager. Just to let you know, the shop is in carriage C, and that's between B and D." I'm like, yeah, I know where C is. It's between B and D, right? And he goes, in the shop today, we'll be selling a selection of hot and cold drinks. So that's tea, coffee. I'm like, I think I know, right? What hot and cold drinks are. We have a selection of sandwiches, BLTs. I'm like, mate, I've been to a shop. I know exactly what goes on in a shop. And then he said, and today, I'm afraid we will only be accepting payment through cash or card only. Well, how the fucking else was I supposed to pay in the first place? Walk up, bottle of Coke, yeah, standing order, first of the month. Is that all right with you, is it? Thanks very much.
See, the big transport issue, and it is for you gentlemen, is Brexit. You know, there could be trouble. We don't know about the border, hard border, and there's a court case today. But Arlene Foster said that the border will be all right because it'll be all computerised, and there'll be a thing in the sky and cloud and stuff. And she basically said a whole lot of important words.
Arlene regressed and became a 9-year-old girl for a little while and started talking about there'll be space and things and cameras and all computers and it'll all be brilliant. and
the person who's going to control it all is the Queen.
Yes.
She's going to do everything.
And she said that we could all be tagged electronically and watched electronically. And, yeah, I know, it's very, very weird. Have you tried getting a phone signal in Fermanagh?
Theresa May said, and I quote, after the conference, the Tory party conference, she said, well, they won't be plain sailing, there will be bumps in the road. You go, well, you've made a balls in that metaphor, haven't you? Of course there'll be bumps in the road if you're driving a yacht on land.
Not the worst, though. Poor Boris Johnson.
We're going to make a Titanic success of Brexit. He's such a buffoon. This half-man, half-golden retriever that he is. There's Brexit, now there's Irexit. That's what they're talking about, Irexit now. That's what they're... Irexit.
Irexit?
No, that's a different thing. Irexit.
That's it, everybody has 5 minutes to get out.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, indeed, residents in Sandy Row are upset that the proposed new transport hub could affect the Boyne Bridge. Come on, lads, it's only a bridge. Get over it. So what is our next question tonight? Who do you blame for unconventional businessmen? Yes, this time next week, businessman Donald Trump will know if he has won the presidency of the United States. Because of BBC rules on impartiality, I can't tell you which way I would vote. So you will have no idea whether I would have voted for Hillary Clinton or for a baboon-faced, narcissistic, tax-evading groper. You'll never know. Locally, our unconventional businessman is, of course, Charter NI CEO, loyalist D. Stitt. Mr. Stitt has a cleaning business. They're actually very good. They get your house clean, very clean. Forensically clean. In his defence, Mr. Stitch says that loyalist organisations keep drugs out of the community. Yes, they do, but only so they can keep demand high and drive up the prices. But who can we blame for unconventional businessmen?
D. Fennell last week and D. Stitt this week. I love the D's. Don't you love the D's? D's the CEO of Charter NI, which got about 2 million quid off the Social Investment Fund, or better known as Keep a UDA Quiet Fund. And D's 35,000 quid a year. 35,000 quid a year as a CEO. Which, and the only problem is, see, this is the problem. D's a self-made man, right? D's a working-class man. His progress to a CEO is slightly different from other CEOs. Usually a CEO, they'll enter university, right? And they'll enter a business, and they'll work their way up. Now, D's progress was slightly different. D entered the UDA. Then he entered a bank with a gun. Right? Then he entered jail. And then he got out of jail. And the last time the police caught Dee was with a guy in the boot of his car. Ken, no charges were brought, seemingly at that stage, because seemingly a man said,
No, I'm fine, honestly. A wee bit agoraphobic and think Dee's giving me a lift. It's all okay. Is that all right, Dee? Is that okay, Dee? Sounds good, man, Dee.
Emma Pengelly gave around $2 million to the Charter NI, and the whole idea is to get the long-term unemployed back into work, right? And people are kicking off about this. This is genius. This is genius. If you're normally long-term unemployed, right, the Dole phone them up and call them in and go get a job. What's the reaction? Aye, right. UDA call you in. Tell you to get a job.
What job do you want me to get, Dee? I'll get whatever job you want, Dee. Anything you want, Dee. Dee, let me do this, Dee. Will you, Dee? Come on, Dee, please, Dee.
Not that Dee himself has to worry about work. Dee, I wrote this down. Dee's a one-man industry. Dee has ice cream shops. But the problem with the ice cream shop, I admit, he's a good CEO. Because what happened was, he had a problem with a close relative, right, who unfortunately uploaded video of himself in the ice cream shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pulling something other than a poke. And video has been Dee's downfall too. I think that's
That
what it
got
all.
viral, that one.
That went viral. Oh, but Dee went viral
It was
too.
seen by hundreds and thousands.
You know what I've noticed? The Shinners have been very quiet. There hasn't been a peep out of Sinn Féin during the whole thing. There's got to be a wee lily-white Shinner who's no young one. He's got to be going up to Marty McGuinness.
Marty, what about the D-Stat thing? We should be saying something about the D-Stat. Like, Marty, look at the guy in the boot of the car.
Will you shut up? Be quiet for a minute. Shut up.
But Marty, you know, he's getting millions of pounds, and he's getting millions of pounds from the government for doing nothing.
Behave yourself, Don. I'm telling you, be quiet.
Marty, he robbed the bank.
Go stand in the corner. Just go stand in the corner. This has to be mentioned. This, you all saw it. Everybody's had to have seen this. The DUP, we talked last week about the DUP at the Conservative conference, given the champagne reception.
Yep.
Well, they had their own conference, right? They had their own conference. Did you see how they finished?
We have had, there's about 350 people here, and they're all asked to ask questions, and about 350 wrote, who do you blame for Will Griggs on fire at the DUP conference? Oh, I think it's only fair. Should we let people see this, in case, by chance, somebody missed it?
Did you know what? The DUP having fun. No, the DUP having fun is so unnatural. It's like watching dogs playing cards. There's something. And Arlene tried, didn't she? She tried, but she got in the mummy dance thing. You know. And then she cut herself on and went, oh my God, what have I done?
I'd like to see the DUP do other football chants. Like, who ate all the pies? Who ate all the pies? Doesn't matter, as long as the baker wasn't forced to say pro-marriage, gay marriage. You know where you stand with the DUP?
That's it.
Where is the Ulster Unionists, right? Wasn't it last year they made the pact at the DUP? Little pact for the elections?
Yep.
DUP?
Oh, yes,
and it was so fair. Like, and now this year they're with the SDLP?
Yeah, Badger Beard.
Basically, they're just like Jezebel, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mike Nesbitt's like, yeah, so DUP, like, for man in South Tyrone, it's very tight, it's very tight. So you just stand aside, it's very tight. and then the DUP go out, and then he goes in to another room with Colin Badgerbeard, as you call him. He goes, so we're not like the other guys. We got so much in common. You're a man, I'm a man. You represent Foyle, I represent Strangford, both locks. I know.
Thank you very much for that indeed. Yes, indeed, Dee Stitt said his flute band, the North Down Defenders, would defend his area from anyone, particularly people who like flute music. And for anyone watching in Cultraw, a flute band is not James Galway and the Ulster Orchestra playing some light classics. So, what is our next question tonight? Who do you blame for bad readers? It's Book Week in Northern Ireland. Apparently, 1 in 5 people in Northern Ireland is illiterate. I'm not illiterate. I know exactly who my father was. The aim of Book Week is, of course, to encourage people to read. Stephen Nolan revealed that he doesn't read books. Yes, kids, if you don't read, you too could end up a hugely successful, multi-award winning, highly paid broadcaster just like Stephen Nolan. Please, kids, read. But who can we blame for bad readers?
I think we can blame, everyone really, even ourselves. I think a lot of people now are reading like social media rather than books and articles in a newspaper. Like last year I decided to buy some new books, you know, taking on myself to try and improve my life. You know, so I went out to the bookshops and I wanted to buy some self-help books. Because last year I was quite ill, right? I changed my diet, right? So I had to do a lot of reading and research. I was told by my doctor that I have a gluten allergy. Now, I know you're celiac, Jake, aren't you, right? So
I'm proud of it.
You're celiac, yeah. He's celiac, but I'm classed as gluten intolerant, right? Which is very different, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, I woke up one morning, like, I probably get, like, some of the same symptoms you have, like rashes, I had spots all over my face, diarrhea, bloated stomach, no? Dandruff, no, none of that. You know, I did what I should never do, though, whenever you're sick, no. But I did what you should never do, is I typed all those symptoms into the internet. Don't ever type anything into the internet, because the internet said I could be from Scotland. I couldn't believe it. I went to my GP. I don't know how you got diagnosed, but I went to my GP, right, and he said, we're going to send you for a blood test, right? So I did that, right, failed it. I don't know how you fail a blood test, right? And then he said, we're going to send you for a biopsy. He said, but in the meantime, go gluten-free. And I was like, what the hell is gluten-free? So I had to go, like, and read up on it, right? And he said to me, look, get some books, do a bit of reading on it, do a bit of research. He said, you know, no wheat, no barley, no rye, gluten-free flour, gluten-free cakes, all this kind of stuff, you know. And then because I was Irish, all right, he leaned in, he looked at me and he went, I'm afraid, Andrew, no more Guinness for you. I was like, you should be afraid. Right, I said, what will happen if I do drink Guinness? He goes, you'll have a gluten attack. I said, I'll be honest with you, doctor, after a few pints, I'm up for a fight anyway. Right? I couldn't believe it. And then when I left the GP surgery, I rang my dad back home in Cork, right, because he was like, going, I said, Dad, you're not going to believe this, right, but the English GP, right, has just said I can't drink Guinness anymore. And my dad said, has he mentioned Murphy's or Beamish? I was like, no, drive on. But the thing is, because like celiacs and gluten, I did a lot of research on this, right? Celiacs and gluten-free people are very different. The thing is, right?
I could take a reaction. It'd be funny, eh? If I shit all over you.
The thing is, do you know what? The thing is, right, with a celiac, right, like if you take celiac disease, right, and you know, issues like that, you've got celiac disease, it's a pretty strong word, disease, for something that's a chronic condition, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because you've got like other diseases, like, you know, like heart disease, motor neuron disease, like proper, you know, like, not saying a proper disease, but, you know, the Champions League, like, of diseases, right? But celiac disease would be a terrible way to go, though, wouldn't it? It'd be embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? Dying from gluten. You know, like it would be. Can you imagine the embarrassment at the funeral? It'd be more worth explaining how you died than actual sadness. Like, imagine Turner goes, how did he die? Slice of white bread got him in the end. His flat was wall-to-wall covered in toast. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah. And Neil Delmer was last seen leaving the flat 2 hours before. I don't know what it's like for you, though, because obviously you're a lot more stricter. I just stay off it as much as I can.
Oh, we know what it's like for him. He won't stop telling me.
You'll know when you get tested, you'll know you've been tested. You'll know you've been tested, because to get tested, you get it up one end and down the other. You will know, you understand? See when the doctor says roll
around? But it's all the way up?
All the way. All the way. That's nothing. See when the doctor tells you to roll around, put your knees to your chest, nothing good's going to happen after that. And they do both on the same day.
Oh, that was
you're flossed, you're flossed. Just kill me now.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, indeed, gluten-free diets have become very popular recently. Superstar singer Beyonce is a vegan. She only eats food that is organic, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free and non-GMO. In other words, she only eats potato, cheese and onion and dust. What's our next question tonight? Who do you blame for men not being able to take each other up the aisle? Yes, the DUP have confirmed that they will continue to block gay marriage. Arlene Foster says she knows gay men who don't want to get married. Arlene, no men want to get married. It's just, you know, you make us. But who can we blame for men not being able to take each other up the aisle?
Arlene's had a good week this week, hasn't she? First of all, she said that she's going to use petition of concerns to stop any sort of gay marriage legislation. And the petition of concern was designed to help the peace process. So she's using something good to do something bad, in my opinion. It's like beating the shite out of somebody with a life jacket. It's... I mean, you can do it, but you probably shouldn't do it, right? And then she also said that the authorities in the south were poaching business from Northern Ireland and talking down the northern economy and trying to poach investors away from you. As a representative on this show of the south, can I just say, of course we are! What do you expect? We've been telling lies about you lads for years. We're over with we're making up paramilitary organisations. We're standing there with investors going, where are you going to invest? Oh, we're thinking of investing in Northern Ireland. Oh, well, there's running battles between the RVH and the IFA. What's the RVH stand for? The Royal Volunteer Whores. They're against the IFA, the Irish Fenian Association. It's terrible what they're doing to informers. One of them is on fire. Will Greig, they set him on fire. He's on fire. But Northern Ireland looks so great on Game of Thrones. That's because all the extras are using their own clothes. I'm telling you, poverty-stricken. Northern Ireland is poverty-stricken. What sort of business are you going to set up with Belfast? Accounting software in Belfast, the only city in the world that has 6 quarters. Are you sure? We've been lying about you for donkey's years. We'll say whatever. So I would say that Arlene is kind of reinforcing inequality. The Pope is reinforcing inequality this week as well. Might as well have a go with him as well, saying that women will never ever be priests. He is apparently open to the idea that there might be deacons at some point. But like a deacon is just like a diet priest or a... Like, it is. It's like priest zero or... You know what I mean? I can't believe it's not father. That's what it's... Belfast Zoo is the big thing because people are worried that the animals there aren't treated as well as animals in other zoos, and the authorities from Europe aren't going to reissue their licence. And I think this is just like TV, and that the Belfast Zoo should go for the black and white licence where you're only allowed to keep, you know, badgers and zebras and pandas or something like this. But there was a list of stuff that they were upset by in the report. There is, I'll quote, there was too much aggression between the Andean bears, which I would completely believe. I knew a bear from Peru, and he would rip your ghoulies off for a jar of marmalade. Rip it straight off. People are worried. If you close the zoo, what's going to happen to all the animals? Will they be euthanised, which would be terribly sad? Will they be given back to other zoos because some of them are from there? Tell you what you do with them. Let them out. Just let them run. Let tigers run all around Belfast. Probably settling in Tigers Bay, obviously. If Mike Tyson can have a tiger, so can Carl Frampton. Would you love to see some lodge should buy a tiger and just turn up at Drumcree? You'd be let walk where you want to walk. This is Stripey, he's orange, he's one of us. Now let me go, right? You just have the PSNI going, tranquilise him, tranquilise him, tranquilise him. What if he bites me? I wasn't talking about the tiger. Neither was I, for God's sake. Let the tigers out, let the monkeys out, let the monkeys run around and try and hide in supermarkets. The kids would be hunting them down, they'd be trying to blend in with the front of the Cocoa Pops box. Just... Where do you think the monkeys are going? I think they're trying to get to the Holy Land. They put on a Tyrone jersey and blend right in. I want to be driving home someday along the West Link, and I want to just see a load of sea lions looking at the big sculpture going, I don't know if you could juggle that, Barry. That's it. Be ambitious.
I spoke to my mother about it. When they passed the vote in Ireland, the same-sex marriage vote, I spoke to my mum about it. My mum's she's very liberal, but also very traditional, so sometimes her liberal ideas and her traditional ways, they don't sync, like as one idea. Right? My mum's latest idea was she believes that gay men in Ireland should be allowed to get married in the Catholic Church, but she thinks one of them has to wear a white dress. And you know what? I agree with her. I think gay men should be allowed to get married in the place where they work. You got it, yeah. So you're like, oh, no, okay, we'll give it to him.
Thank you for that. Just time for this week's news. I will read you various newspaper headlines, and I want you to be faster than Hillary Clinton deleting an email. Man had stun gun in wardrobe.
Daily Mail reader fears immigration from Narnia.
Robots that can fondle.
Set to replace priests and 1970s DJs.
Brush twice a day to stop pancreatic cancer.
That's a long toothbrush.
The world's biggest bust.
Stephen Nolan gets into the Guinness World Records.
That's it. That's the end of the show. Please show your appreciation to our panel. Colin Murphy, Andrew Ryan, Jacob Kane and Neil Delamere. I'm Tim McGarry. Until next week, don't blame yourselves, blame each other. Goodbye.
And Tim McGarry casts his eye back over 10 years of the hit comedy with memorable clips featuring Joan Bishop, Kevin Bridges and Adam Hills, amongst others, as well as behind-the-scenes tales from Neil Delamere, Colin Murphy and Jacob Kane. Fans of the show, including Rory McIlroy, Phil Gibbons and Eamon Holmes, all tell us why they love the Blame Game.